Murtz Jaffer here with Katie Cassidy. Katie, it has been a long time since we last chatted. I was going through our history of interviews. I don't think either of us want to reveal when the last one was, but suffice to say it was a long time ago. How have you been?
I'm good. I'm in Georgia at the moment. I'm shooting a movie. It's nice to be working because I didn't work for about a year and a couple months because we were all on lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm good. I'm really good. I feel like it's been an interesting couple of years, but I just think, I've learned a lot about myself and I've never been happier. And I feel like I'm at peace and I'm more like, oh, okay, I feel like grounded, if that makes sense.
I wanna get into like the real reason that we're here. This whole NFT boom, this whole NFT craze. I mean, I don't think I'd be alone in saying that, like, I really had to Google this a few times. Like, I didn't really know what it was. So for those unfamiliar, what is an NFT and what attracted you to it?
Basically, an NFT, non-fungible token, is, think of it this way. If you know what cryptocurrency is,
yep,
digital currency, NFTs, essentially, it's almost like a certificate of authenticity that exists on the blockchain that that you can purchase peer-to-peer using Ether, which is a cryptocurrency that you can get on, there's so many places. I mean, Binance, Bittrex, Coinbase. This is the marketplace for digital art, essentially.
Right.
It's like an art museum, but digital.
Exactly.
And you can purchase these, like, so instead of going to see it, you're at the Louvre and you're looking and you go see the Mona Lisa, you can actually own a portion, you can buy ownership of that painting and have the high resolution ownership of it.
Right. Okay. Now that's the next thing. And I'm gonna obviously ask you about like your series in particular, its motivation in a sec. But like when you say buy a share of it, so when I'm buying a share of something, like is it me with other shareholders, and so we can all display it?
So let's just say there's one image I release
of
this photograph or painting or something that I own, and I say, okay, I'm gonna only let 5 other people in the world own it. So they would own it. You base the price off that, what you think it's valued at, divided by 5. If you put it up for an auction, then sure, it can go who knows to what level.
Yeah.
But then yes, only like 5 people, unless they decide to sell it, can display it or anywhere, have it on their wall. People think like taking screenshots, that doesn't, I mean, sorry. When you take a screenshot of something, you can't blow it up.
Exactly. See, this is what I find the most interesting. See, that's the part that I'm trying to sort of evolve to understanding. And you're right. Like the first thing people say is, oh, well, what's the, like, why would I get this? Like I can just screenshot it from the display page. And I think that's a point that a lot of people are missing.
I don't think they understand too, is like our cell phones are like what, like this?
Yeah.
So maybe that they don't even realize like, okay, here's your cell phone.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to take a screenshot.
Yeah.
Maybe it looks like it's high res on your cell phone, which is this big, which if that's enough for you and whatever, sure. But you don't have ownership of it. In fact, you actually robbed the artist and the other collaborators. But also you don't have you can't blow that up. It looks awful. And that's what I think is really cool about it, is like you're supporting myself as an artist, like my fans. I actually have my own coin in development, the Cassidy coin. And my fans, and here I am saying this, and by the way, I wouldn't be surprised if like after this comes out, then Paris Hilton all of a sudden has her Paris coin. But I still have my Cassidy coin. But basically my fans will be able to, I can gift them my coin, the Cassidy coin, and they'll be able to then directly, without a bank in between or third party in between, buy and support whoever they're a fan of, the artist.
No, I'm getting it. You know I think it's like that. Now, I want to move forward and I want to talk about Me.She.We. I want to talk about sort of the concept behind it and sort of the transition that you made, sort of like, I'm not going to say you're leaving acting, for sure you're not. You're doing a movie right now, but tell me more about this transition into this space and the motivation behind this first shoot.
So here we go.
Okay.
Launch it into that.
Okay.
So around Valentine's Day, not too long ago, I had this boyfriend, and I had got him this thing called Love is Art for Valentine's Day, which is, I got him one and myself one, and it's this canvas. It comes in like a little round thing, canvas with paint by this company, Love is Art. And essentially you have sex with make love to your partner on the canvas in paint. And then you get it stretched and you put it on your wall, and it's this beautiful piece of art. And he had just bought a house. And I actually sent him the link for the house that he bought. So I was like, oh, this would be such a fun thing for us to do. And also, what a cool piece of art to put on your wall. Well, he broke up with me like 2 days later, so we never used it. And there's no hard feelings, but like, I'm actually going to make love to myself on this canvas, and I'm going to have the Riker Brothers shoot it. And not only am I going to do that, I'm also then going to drop it as an NFT during Women's History Month, because I've always been so supportive of women and being independent and us in general, and also like embracing yourself and loving yourself. And I've never done a shoot like this before. From Thursday, I had the idea, and my NFT dropped on, I think it was a Monday.
Wow.
Like, so they basically, I had this idea of like, I'm going to do this. Also, I want, and I do encourage women to embrace themselves, but also you can't have a relationship with another person until you actually learn how to love yourself.
Yeah.
And that was like my overall takeaway. And also the canvas that I rolled around on, it was a part of the auction. So the person who got the auction actually got the physical piece of canvas, and I had it stretched out, and it's beautiful. And it's a really cool piece of art. And I don't know, it's a percentage of the proceeds goes to Global Women Empowerment, the Rate Foundation. Like I'm very, and always have been, encouraging and supportive of women, but I've also not allowed myself to be so vulnerable ever. I don't have a trust fund. I didn't grow up with my biological dad. I have the last name Cassidy, but everything I have is what I have made and earned on my own since I was like 15. I didn't meet my dad till 4th grade. I don't have an inheritance. Like, people, I think, make assumptions. And so that's like part of the personal side of me, of like, I know me, I know my story. Everybody else has this other vision of me and what they think my story is. And I've had to learn how to sort of love.
It's, would you say that this is it a fusion, Katie? Is it a fusion sort of these two sides that you refer to, this public sort of persona that we, myself included, that we know you as, you know, like this, Laurel Lance, like that's how, you know, a lot of your fans know you. And then you're also saying that like there's this private side, this like introverted side. Do you feel like this NFT, do you feel like Me.She.We is a fusion of these two sides, or do you feel like they're completely
100%?
Yeah,
I think it's 100%. And that, to me, the intimacy of like the piece that was auctioned off is the me piece. And that, to me, was such an important piece, because that, to me, was more of who I am. And that the artistic side for me to come, I came up with this concept of like, I'm going to roll around in this paint by myself. I'm going to put this wig on. I mean, I've got black and dark brown hair, playing an agent at the moment. I was like, I'm going to put this wig on. And we shot it in an hour at my condo. And that was it. It was like, great, here's this, done, wrap. And had this journalist, she's a friend of mine. Like, she came in, was lovely. It was just such an organic synergy thing. It's art. That's what art and creativity is. And I think that's NFTs, to me, that's what they should be. It's artists collaborating, and then, you know, fans. I'm fans of certainly other artists. Like, why would I want to pay, well, the third party involved?
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
Fourth party, whether that be a bank or a record label. I don't know.
You know, female empowerment has always been a theme in your professional work. We talked about Black Canary on Arrow. We talked a little bit about Ella Sims on Melrose Place. I feel like this concept of female empowerment has always been important to you, to your work, and now into this new project. Why is it such an important concept to you?
Again, such a good question. Well, this tattoo says warrior. I think that my life is not what people have assumed it has been. It's not been easy. I will write a book at some point. But I think it's been, and that's just, it's okay. It's just sort of like everybody's dealt cards and it's how you play them. But I think female characters, strong female independent characters, I'm really drawn to because I'm independent and I've had to overcome a lot of stuff, and I grew up at a really young age and moved out at a really young age, and I've had to work really hard again, like for everything that I have.
For fans of your work, this is clearly a new side of you. In fact, the photos reveal all sides of you. Why was it important for you to reveal like so much of yourself? Like, why put it all out there? Like, I'll be honest with you, my experience with Katie Cassidy was, you know, actor, like, you know, in this sort of like comic book universe of shows. I had never seen this side of you. I feel like this is a totally different side. Why was it important for you to sort of bare yourself literally and figuratively to this level?
Because it's been the first time, like I've said, it's the first time I've really been true and honest about myself and who I am publicly, and really been open and honest about, yeah, I did just finish a TV show I was on that they did kill me off on, and then they brought me back, and so is life. November 2019. Yes, I did file for, like, there's this whole, there's this whole thing about, oh, you're getting divorced, and oh my gosh. Yeah, and I'm really happy. Like, people are like, I'm so sorry. I always say, oh my gosh, don't be. It's like, congratulations. Again, I had no other choice other than to be like, you know what, this is who I am. And maybe I haven't been comfortable ever opening up entirely about my upbringing and my childhood. And that I know I've said, you know, mentioned it, but I don't get into detail of, and not that I have in this regard, because it's not about my dad or my childhood. It's just, this was more about like really embracing and accepting myself.
I'm just saying that I just don't think it would have the same, efficacy. I don't think it would have the same potency if it was just, you know, Katie rolls out in like another leather bodysuit as Black Canary and just dropped it as an NFT. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like there was something more to that with this.
I wanted to inspire people, and that's why it came together so seamlessly and so quickly. And I think in such a, I wanted to be the first person to do, or celebrity to do something like this.
Exactly. Any hesitation to sort of do a nude shoot?
No. And that's what's also interesting, because I would never do, like, I've never done something like that before.
Would you say the series is more directed toward Katie Cassidy and Arrow fans, art collectors, or ideally a combination of both?
Well, okay, so the series, I want to say specifically, I would say art collectors. Myself, if I were to see images like that, I would, without knowing anything about it, I think it is a really beautiful piece of art.
How many releases do you have planned? I understand you are working on a new series called Shadows. When is that expected to drop, and what other stuff are you working on?
Okay, so the Me.She.We series is going to be continuation. It'll continue to evolve and ever grow. We just dropped a new portrait that I had just mentioned, that's animated birds, called Uncaged, but it's part of the Me.She.We series. Shadows is a different, it's more of that sort of that cyberpunk type stuff. It's a different collection, so it's not going to be like black and white portrait series. This is more like behind the scenes. I was actually here shooting, and it was my shadows, but there's this really insane graffiti artwork that was done along the wall, and a police siren I'm in Augusta, Georgia currently. A police was coming down, and the sirens gave it this like neon glow, and with the lighting and my shadow in it, I got, and Mel Gibson, he's in this movie, and he was in one of the shadows. So there's all these like cool elements to it.
Very cool. I know we're running out of time here a little bit, but I have to ask you about working with the Riker brothers. I mean, the Riker brothers, when I had seen this and I had sort of looked at it and I'm like, wait, no, this can't be the same. And when I saw the name, I'm like, where do I know the name of these Riker brothers from? And I said, this is out of all like the crazy 6 degrees of separation in my life, that was probably the biggest one, is that you know them as like celebrity photographers. I'm sure sort of like just dealing with them in LA and stuff. I know a completely like the most foreign side of them you could
Wait,
get.
That's not how I know them, but keep going.
Okay, yeah, tell me how you know them.
I want to hear yours first, and then I'll tell you mine.
I hadn't heard that name since, it's honestly like 20 years ago. It's unbelievable for me to even say that amount of time, but 20 years ago, they were at the forefront of the reality TV movement. They were one of the first teams to be cast on The Amazing Race at a time when, just like NFTs in a weird way, nobody knew what the craze was going to be, how it was going to change the face of entertainment. And they were basically one of the first teams ever on that show. And I had heard that they were, at the time, they were models. They weren't even photographers at the time. And now, based on like them shooting this, I looked up, like, what have they done since that time when I knew them? And it's just crazy to me how much they've accomplished, since I saw them. So that's how I know them. And like when I found out that they were sort of connected to your Me.She.We, I'm like, this is the universe telling me that I have to do something here. I'm like, these are the two most opposite polar spectrums connecting for this shoot.
Are you ready for this?
Okay, tell me.
Blow your mind.
Okay, tell me.
6 degrees of separation.
Yeah.
So I have this trainer. His name is Peter Lee Thomas. He's amazing. He's an amazing trainer. He's an amazing person. Helped me through a lot in 2019, 2020. Before I got the job to get hired, my trainer was like, oh, I know these photographers. And I think one of them knows this girl who wrote this movie. And I think you're meeting them for the director of it. They came and they shot this, which was not too long ago. So I didn't actually meet the Riker brothers until the shoot.
Yeah.
When they came over for the shoot, I was like, hey guys, I've heard so much about you from both Maria, from Peter. So nice to meet you in the flesh. What do you think about shooting right here?
Okay. Before I let you go, I know you're shooting a new movie. Can you tell us anything about that? Like what you're doing now?
Yes, I'm shooting a movie called Agent Game. Action, suspense, thriller-ish. It's basically whatever I always want to watch every single night, which makes me really happy. I love like action, sort of agent type, mysterious, movies. Mel Gibson, Dermot Mulroney, is in it. Myself, everybody's actually like really awesome. Grant Johnson's directing. He's a really young director, but he's great. I'm say young in age. He's literally like, I think he's 29 or 30, but the guy knows. I was so impressed.
And do you see yourself sort of transitioning now from like this whole acting thing into, this creative director, this like NFT like person? Or do you think that it's constantly going to be, one side acting, one side modeling, one side NFT? Is it all just Katie?
No, I think, I think it's just being an artist or creator in general, but I definitely know and can see myself as now that I've directed, now I've been writing, like I definitely feel like I'm more of an overall creator or like have a vision. And it's just a matter of figuring out all the pieces and best ways to bring that to life, I guess.
Do you consider yourself to be a pioneer in this space?
Oh yeah, absolutely. 100%. I'm all about, Mark Cuban actually, he's and I have been chatting on Instagram direct messages because he saw my NFT drop and was like, this is really smart. I don't have time to talk to you at the moment, but here, you need to talk to these people.
That
I'm working with.
I agree. I just think you're onto something here, and it's really amazing to sort of see it. Like I've never had that before. You're always jumping into something, like, oh, I wish I had gotten in on that, oh, I wish I had gotten in on Apple, like before it became Apple. And I just feel like it's amazing to sort of see something like from the ground up. Like I talked to you, and then 2 days after I talked to you, Tom Brady releases new NFT. Paris Hilton releases new NFT. Like
cutting edge. Yes.
It's incredible. It really is. It's incredible. Final question for you is, where can people find out more? You've mentioned OpenSea a few times. Where is the best spot for people who see this to go and like see the next NFT drop that Katie releases?
Well, you'll definitely be able to see it on my social media platforms. Instagram is Katie Cassidy, Twitter is MZ Katie Cassidy. I'm currently in the process of being on, it's called lazy.com, which is Mark Cuban's company, in NFT space, to where you can, display your NFTs. And then OpenSea right now for me is where you can buy
the main hub.
Exactly.
What is the price range we're looking at? Like all the headlines about this were Katie Cassidy drops like $18,000 NFT. Like, is there, because it's a new space, because it's a new market, like how do you even go about determining? Like, do you not know? Like you just dropped.
But here's the thing. This is what's so crazy. So no one had ever done what I did.
Right.
So there was nothing to compare it to.
Right. That's what I mean. Okay. So then how do you set the price point in that scenario?
We had that conversation, and I was like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. And we had somebody do some, research on something similar, but the honest truth was we kind of just had to come up with it on our own, because also I'm also not necessarily known yet in the financial space. For me, I want to make art to do better for the world or people. If it inspires people or makes people excited or makes them feel good, then great. And if it's also while maybe helping therapeutically me heal something while I'm doing this, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's, if it's a positive, good thing, and then why not? Let's I keep saying, like, let's paint the world.
Yeah.
It's just what I want to, like, I love it. I love, just creating stuff.
So final words would be, let's paint the world.
Let's paint the world.
I like
NFT
it. Okay.
style.